Okay, hi everyone. As I said earlier, I'm Martin Redstone, I'm from Robo Recruiter. Ironically, we're a chatbot solution, but we like to think that we make hiring more human. It is a bit of an ironic statement, but hopefully you'll see by the end of it why. I'm a little bit shorter than most people, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to jump straight in and I'm going to talk to you about why we think chatbots are the future and why messaging is the future of the way that we interact with people. So, from a recruitment perspective, if you think about kind of back in the 80s and the early 90s, we had databases on our computers. We had CVs stored on those databases, but they were generally very static and they stayed there on your desk in front of you. Move on to the 90s, the advent of websites and browser-based job boards, and towards the end of that decade, LinkedIn was starting to appear and Facebook and what have you. Moving on to the third wave and the noughties, we had the app-based way of working with candidates and the appearance of smartphones and the real kind of uptake of that around the world. We're now moving into the fourth wave of innovation, and this is all around messaging and bot-based communication. I don't know about you guys, but when I walk around events like this, and I stood at the back just now, everybody's on their phone and they're all messaging, and I won't feel upset if you're doing that rather than listening to me, because that's the point. You're messaging, you're texting, you're on Facebook Messenger, you're on Skype, you're on Slack. I've seen all number of it just standing at the back. And that's brilliant because that proves my point. And the point is that messaging is here and messaging is the future way of working with your candidates. So we think the fourth wave starts with chatbots. As was mentioned earlier, you can have interactive conversations, you can be continuously and always connected to your candidates through messaging, and you can automate the data collection process. There's a lovely quote here, Thomas hasn't told me who it's from, but messaging is so pervasive and extensively used now that other software is being added to it. Chatbots are the reason messaging will become the platform. So, without data, it's useless as far as we're concerned. And for us, I'm not going to try and invoke Tony Blair, I'm really not going to. But for us, the message is data, data, and data. That wasn't too bad. So for us, data is so important. Your data, candidates' data, GDPR, everything right now is talking about data and the pervasiveness of it and just how important it is to make sure that things like chatbots are a success and how your organisation is a success going forward into the future. The whole world of data is changing, and through things like GDPR, we're seeing a massive shift in people's mindsets. But data for us is central to how well chatbots can perform. So I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about our products and areas of focus. Now, the clients that we've been working with, sorry, the last speaker mentioned it, there's many, many different use cases for chatbots. But we find that there's three main uses that our clients are generally using Robo Recruiter for. The first area is what we call PALS. It's our database cleansing and candidate reactivation product. And it stands for price, availability, location, and skills. Quite simply, it's a way to bring that data into your database. So price, what's your current salary, whether it's hourly, whether it's annually, whether it's daily. What's your availability? Are you looking for a job now? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 10 years? You tell us. Where are you based? Are you based in London? Are you based in Berlin? Are you based in San Fran? And what kind of skills do you have? What are your top 3 skills? How many years' experience do you have in those skills? And for us, we see a major use in this is reactivating candidate databases. And I'll talk a little bit more about one of the case studies we have around that a bit later. The second product area is what we call Job Vet. Quite simply, application vetting and candidate longlisting. What we do is facilitate the conversation right at the beginning of the recruitment process to ensure that all of the mundane conversations that your recruiters and yourselves can have in regards to vetting candidates at that first stage of application can happen via a chatbot platform. Whether that's things such as this job entails. We had a client in the States actually who was a factory and manufacturer, and they wanted to know whether people could stand on their feet for 14 hours. We put that into the vetting process because people were shocked when they came in and they had to stand up for such a long time. So those killer questions, making sure that we can vet people to the specifics of your roles so that you've got a nice long list of people that have, number one, engaged with the platform, completed the questions, and actually come out as a top match for that role. And the third area of focus for our clients is compliance, adherence to regulations such as GDPR. Come May next year, under GDPR, if you haven't done anything to re-engage your candidate database and get opt-in on that data storage, you've pretty much got a database of zero. So people are using the PALS campaign to re-engage with their candidate database to ensure that they're compliant for GDPR regulations that are coming in next year. And that's proving a very, very interesting area of focus and conversation right now. So I mentioned to you earlier, we've got a bit of a case study and something we ran quite recently for one of our clients where they had a dormant candidate database of just over 2,500 candidates. And these candidates hadn't been spoken to in anywhere between 6 months to 10 years. What they asked us to do was work with them to create a campaign that would re-engage with those people and find out whether or not there was still some, to term a phrase, to see if we can mine for gold for them. So we did. We worked with them, created a campaign, and there was 2,527 candidates sent out an invite to engage with the chatbot. 392 clicked through. 247 clicked on that first question, which is all about opting in to keep hold of the data under GDPR. 180 candidates answered all of those questions through the campaign. So what does that mean? Well, they had active roles that they were looking to fill right now. And in fact, out of those 180 candidates, they found 5 people that were relevant for those roles and actually filled 4 of those roles out of the 5 interviews, which I think is a pretty good ratio if I put my recruitment head back on. What did it mean? Well, they were using an agency, and the agency would have charged them £70,000 in fees. So we immediately saved the organisation the amount of money it would cost to go out to a recruitment agency, and it meant a massive return on investment on just that one campaign. So I think we're going to try and go for a demo now, so bear with me, keep an eye on the time. We're going to have a very quick demo. So what would happen, we'd set up a campaign with yourselves, and they would get an email, and I hope, from here it looks blurred, I hope it's not so blurred out there, but you'll get a branded email coming out, either HTML or plain text. You'd also get an SMS coming out as well that would invite you into the chatbot solution. Unfortunately, I'm not brilliant with technology, so I was hoping to mirror my phone into the system and show you that, but it seems to be white screening, so I'm going to skip that. So you get a text message and an email saying, hi, this is such and such from such and such an organisation. This was all about the candidate reactivation situation. So as it says, we last spoke in April. We have a number of roles right now that may be of interest. If you're interested in hearing more, click here to update your info using our virtual assistant, Robo Recruiter. So, excuse me. This takes you through, if you're clicking through on an email, to a web-based chatbot. Like I said, you can get a text message which will take you through to a phone-based chatbot. Now, our chatbot is intelligent in terms of it will know whether you're logged into Facebook Messenger, you're logged into Skype Messenger, to Slack, etc., and it'll open up whichever platform you're logged into. What it won't do is force you to log into those platforms. We found during our pilots that those people that were being forced to sign into platforms actually dropped out of the process. So unless you're actually signed into those platforms, we will bring you into our own developed bot. So just to whiz through this very, very quickly in terms of showing you a live demo of the system. So hi, Martin. We spoke in April. I'd like to follow up with you to make sure that my records are up to date, to see if you're on the lookout for a new role. Are you happy to get started and answer a few questions? Yes, I am, Robo. Are you actively looking for a new job at the moment? Depends how well I do today. Yes, I am. So, great. In order for me to keep an eye out for opportunities for you, please continue to answer the questions. Are you still based in Manchester? No. Okay. Which city or town are you living in now? I'm living in London. And you can see this is live. This isn't a recording. I'm actually typing things in as we go along. Has your salary changed since we last spoke? No. Are you still looking for graphic design roles? No. What kind of role are you looking for? I'm looking for a digital marketing role, or maybe a new sales role. but digital marketing for today. How many years of that or equivalent experience do you have? Well, I've got 3 to 5 years experience in digital marketing. What would you say is your top skill? Well, for me, it's SEO, big skill. 1 to 2 years of experience in that. So great. I actually know of a role that I think would be of interest to you. Would you be happy to answer a few more questions that relate to that? Yeah, sounds interesting. I'm looking for a new role now. Thanks. The role would require you to be based in either London or San Francisco and requires travel for business. Would that work for you? Yeah, sounds cool. Brilliant. Could you please let me know your current or most recent employer? I'm just going to randomly put anything in here. Are you looking for full-time positions or a temporary contract? Looking for full-time. Okay, last question. When was the best time of day to reach you? I'm always available in the evenings. Thanks, that's all I need. Please do email us at blah, blah, blah. Pass on your info to the recruitment team. They'll review the information. So that's a live demo right there. So let me just bring back the presentation. Okay. So, whizzed you through a very, very quick demo just to show you the kind of conversations that you can have with people in terms of reactivating a database, continuing the community, the management of the community of candidates you have, of your candidate database. Benefits, quite obvious, instantly commence thousands of communications at once, depending on how many candidates you need to engage with. Reconnect and stay connected to your database. As you can see, reconnect with them after 6 months. They told us they'd be available in 6 months. Save time, increase productivity. Quite interestingly, generate new candidate leads and talent pools and communities of candidates out there, and keep on top of them and keep managing them. Thank you very much.